we've got our spine control setup working, so we can actually control our spine. Now at this stage there is something I want to bring to people's attention. There might have been, as we've been IKing and parenting and all sorts of things, occasionally the rig will move. You can see that the hands have actually moved a little bit. This isn't a terrible thing. It's a little bit inconvenient, but when we come to actually bind our character, we can alleviate that. We can make sure that it's fixed at the end. It's very simple. So as you can see that our controls are nicely around our model. So now we want to make the head control. It's by making a circle and then snapping that to the neck joint. That guy. And then just scaling it down. Let's call that head. There we go. For Kevin back just a reference. Yep. So with that selected, we want to delete by type history and freeze transformation. So this is 0 position now. We also want to change, we want the control to be around the neck, but we want the orientation to be around where the spinal cord would enter the head. So holding D and V, D to move manipulator, V to snap to vertex. So we want to snap it to there. So we should have that. Next one, what we want to do is a little bit of a strange procedure. We want to parent these two IKs together so that they are directly controlled. So we want to click the head IK first and then the neck IK, and then hit P. And then we want to grab the neck IK and then the head control and then hit P again. So then now our IKs are actually underneath the head control, and these are directly affected by this. Next, what we want to do is select the neck IK, the head control, sorry, and then the neck IK, and then we want to go to constrain, point constrain, and then without deselecting, we want to go into constrain again, and then do an orient constrain, and then make sure that maintain offset is selected. Apply that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this is then controlled by this back control, which in turn is then controlled by the chest control, so that everything at the upper body and the head works together. So selecting the head control, select the back control, and then hit P for parent, and then you can see that this is now controlled, and then these are now controlled by it. Now at this stage I want us to do some housekeeping, because at the minute it's not too busy, but there's a few redundant elements in the scene. Example is the seeds for the cluster controls, because they're now being controlled by the actual shapes we made, and then the reverse lock joints, because we don't need them anymore. Well, we need them, but we don't need to see them anymore. So what I want to do is just shift and select both these guys at the root one, then go into our display layers and then create layer from selection, and then we should have layer 2, and we can actually hide that. So they are still in the scene, but we can toggle to seeing them or not. So we're just going to call this one reverse lock leg. Save. And then we want to go grab these awkward little cluster guys here. And then do the same. Call them. is. So now we've tidied up our scene a little bit. There's not a whole lot of superfluous information going on at the minute. Next we're going to be making the collarbone controls. So what I want you to do is make a cube again, a NURB cube using our polygon cube. Making a control out of. Cool. And then what I want us to do is just make a small little rectangle box like this. And I want you to drag and snap this to the clavicle bone, or the arm joint, sorry, not the clavicle. Yeah. And then move it up and size it down because that's a bit too big. We can check our geometry to scale. There you go. Cool. And then I want to change the manipulator to be snapped to the arm joint. There. And then I want to just do a duplication and then drag it over to the other side. So we've got two in the same position on either side. And I want to name this one. I'm going to name this one left clavicle GTRL. It is snapped to the arm joint, but it will be controlling the clavicle movement, so that's why we're calling it clavicle. And then same for right clavicle control. And then I want us to delete history and freeze transformation on both of these so that they are unaffected by anything else. And we've got a nice zeroed out control box on each one of them. Beautiful. What we're going to do now is actually tell these controls to control our desired IK. So selecting our left clavicle control, shift select our shoulder IK, go to constrain, point constrain. You can see that we've now affecting the movement. And then do the same on this side. So now we should have two controls for the arms. There you go. So with these both selected, these together. So if you go to, with these selected, go to edit, and all the way down to group. You can see now that they've been grouped together under our group. The manipulator has been put down to the bottom of the world because there's a new element in the scene. So what I want us to do is actually to snap this manipulator to spine 4. So make sure you got group selected, D and V, snap to spine 4. Now I want to name this clavicle group. Okay. So what I want to do now is name this one clavicle group. Just so it's a group, and then I want to parent this group to the chest control. So now when I move these, everything moves with it. And I can also still grab them controls and move them if needs be. So the next thing we're going to do is add the controls for the arms and set up that. And then we are very near to actually binding our geometry to our rig. And then weight painting, and then we'll be finished. So let's crack on.